Imagine this: you wake up early, clock in on time, and commit your full energy to the workday. You answer every email promptly, tick off each task on your to-do list, stay late when asked, and never miss a deadline. You're consistent, reliable, the person everyone can count on, and you're proud of that. But fast forward 5 years. Despite your diligence, nothing much has changed. Your title is the same. Your pay is nearly identical. Some of your colleagues have moved on, some have been promoted, others have left the company altogether. But you're still here in the same place. And now there's a quiet question echoing in your mind. Why isn't my hard work paying off? Here's the tough reality most people avoid. Hard work does not automatically equal progress. In fact, for many, it simply keeps the status quo intact. It maintains your current life, helps you avoid falling behind, keeps the lights on and the rent paid, but it doesn't move the needle forward. That's because there's a critical distinction between two types of motion that most people confuse: holding your position versus moving forward. We can call this difference going sideways versus going upward. Going sideways means using your effort to simply stay afloat. It's about survival, not growth. It keeps your job, sustains your lifestyle, and protects what you already have. Going upward, on the other hand, means you're building something greater. Your efforts don't just stabilize your life, they compound into new skills, better positioning, increased leverage, and fresh opportunities. The tragedy is that many people think they're going up when, in reality, they're simply running in place. Like being on a treadmill, you're working hard, but you're not actually going anywhere. Let's call it what it is: maintenance disguised as progress. And this illusion is reinforced by how most jobs are structured. Think about your current role. Whether you're in logistics, customer service, education, tech support, or manufacturing, chances are your day-to-day looks the same. You do your job, you hit your numbers, you stay out of trouble. And for that, your employer rewards you with stability. You don't get fired, you're not seen as a risk. But are you rising? Likely not. Because the system wasn't built to reward consistency with elevation. It was built to reward outcomes that disrupt, innovate, or expand. Most companies pay you to do what's expected, not to grow beyond it. You're being rewarded for keeping the machine running, not for building a new one. And that's why hard work by itself doesn't elevate you. It secures your place in line, but doesn't move you forward. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Maria, a seamstress at a clothing factory. For over a decade, Maria has worked 12 to 14 hours a day. She's one of the fastest in her department. Her stitches are flawless. Her work ethic is unquestionable. But Maria's life hasn't changed. Her paycheck looks the same. Her responsibilities haven't grown. She's respected, sure, but she's still stuck. Why? Because Maria's job is about execution, not innovation. She follows pre-made patterns, stitches what's assigned, and fulfills someone else's creative vision. No matter how hard she works, she's staying within the boundaries someone else drew for her. That is, until something shifts. One night after a particularly exhausting day, Maria signs up for an evening class on fashion design. She starts to study fabrics, color theory, silhouettes. She experiments on weekends with her own sketches. Months pass, then years. Eventually, Maria evolves. She's no longer just a technician, she's a designer. She has taste, she has ideas. She understands not only how clothes are made, but why they look good, how trends emerge, and what makes a design stand out. Suddenly, her possibilities multiply. She can pitch new ideas to her manager. She can launch an online store. She can freelance, teach, collaborate with stylists. She's no longer locked into a single path. Why? Because she expanded her skill set. She transformed her identity from follower to creator. That's the difference between effort and evolution. Maria didn't work harder, she worked smarter. She leveraged her time toward learning something new instead of repeating the old. And that's the trap most people fall into. They confuse activity with advancement. It's comforting to do what you're already good at. It feels like growth. You're busy, you're productive, but unless you're adding new dimensions to your capabilities, you're simply reinforcing your current position. In fact, the longer you repeat the same task, the more invisible you become. In a world that rewards novelty, ideas, and adaptability, predictability becomes a disadvantage. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle. We celebrate long hours and burnout as symbols of dedication. But here's the harsh truth: working harder in the wrong direction is a recipe for stagnation. It's rowing as fast as you can while the boat is pointed toward the wrong shore. Consider this: Maria's 12 hours of sewing per day kept her job, but just 2 hours a week learning design that built her future. 1 hour spent understanding branding gave her long-term leverage. 30 minutes learning how to sell online gave her ownership over her work. Strategic learning outweighs repetitive labor every time. The most successful people aren't necessarily the ones working the longest hours. They're the ones who ask themselves, where does my effort produce exponential return? Where can I learn something today that gives me leverage tomorrow? Which brings us to the key question you should ask yourself each day: is what I'm doing right now moving me sideways or upward? If your work is only preserving your job, keeping your life in balance, or avoiding disruption, then it's sideways. If it's unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and growth-inducing, then it's upward. Yes, the upward path feels riskier. It may pay less in the short term, but it's the only path that changes your trajectory in the long run. Let's return to Maria. Her journey didn't end with learning to design. Once she had creative control, she started learning how to sell her work. She launched a small online shop, slowly built a following, and mastered the basics of marketing and customer service. From there, she hired one assistant. Then two, she started managing production timelines, inventory, and vendor relationships. Eventually, she opened a physical store. Now Maria isn't just a seamstress or a designer, she's a business owner. She leads, she scales. She teaches, she creates jobs for others. Her income is no longer capped by hours worked, but by vision, execution, and strategy. Each stage in Maria's growth required a shift, not in effort level, but in thinking. From employee to independent, from operator to strategist, from survival mode to creation mode. That's the real secret. Success isn't about doing more of the same. It's about knowing when to do something different. And that starts with how you see yourself. If you want the world to treat you like a leader, creator, or innovator, you have to think like one before the world believes it. So what if you feel stuck right now? What if you feel like you've been going sideways for years? You don't need a dramatic reinvention. You just need a small strategic shift. Start by auditing your time. Are you investing in growth or just maintaining? Then choose one new skill, not 5. Just one thing that elevates your value or opens a new door. Learn in small, daily doses, 10 pages of a book, 1 video, 15 minutes of practice. Momentum comes from consistency, not intensity. Surround yourself with people who are building, not just surviving. And finally, redefine success. Don't aim for stability, aim for mobility, creativity, and freedom. Because here's what most people overlook: staying the same is the riskiest move you can make. Markets shift, jobs change, technology replaces roles. If your only asset is working hard, you're vulnerable. But if you've trained yourself to adapt, create, and lead, you're resilient, you're future-proof. Hard work will always matter, but in the wrong context, it leads nowhere. The future belongs to those who combine effort with evolution, to those who trade repetition for reinvention, to those who dare to think beyond the job description they were given. You don't need to wait for permission. You just need to start becoming more than your routine. So here's one last question to leave you with. Is the version of you you're building today capable of living the life you dream of 5 years from now? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to stop being busy and start becoming better. Because in this world, going sideways is just a slower way of falling behind. Go upward, always upward. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next video.